Escape. 15 minutes had already passed since the front door had opened. I was in the bathroom, hiding behind a gray shower curtain, frozen in fear. Although the walls were thick, I could hear the faint sound of footsteps in the room below me. The bathroom door was wide open, and I wasn't sure what to do. I had never been in this situation before. After a few minutes of holding my breath, I realized that I could no longer hear footsteps. I decided that this was the time to make a move. After peeking through the shower curtain and making sure the coast was clear, I quietly stepped out of the bathtub and locked the bathroom door. Taking a few deep breaths, I began to look around for an exit. As I looked around, I suddenly froze. I once again could hear the footsteps in the room below. My heart began to beat out of my chest. Since the bathroom was small and located on the second floor, there weren't many options. The bathroom only had one window, which was way too small for me to fit through. I thought about breaking down the window and the weak wooden frame surrounding it. Pausing momentarily, I shook my head. Breaking down the window would make too much noise. If I was unsuccessful, they would find me. Knowing that the window was not a viable option, I began to think of other ways of escaping. Glancing at the narrow window, I knew that there was no possible escape route in the bathroom. Instead, I turned my attention to the door. Even with my heavy breathing, I could still hear footsteps in the room below me. I knew that I could not stay here forever. Eventually, they would make their way upstairs and find me. I could not let that happen. The only way out of this situation was through the door. After taking a few moments to make sure that the footsteps were still below me, I quietly opened the door and stepped into the hallway. After carefully closing the bathroom door, I sighed in relief. All I had to do was find a way out of the house before they found me. I looked around, desperately trying to find another window or door. Other than the small bathroom, there were only 2 other rooms on the second floor. Both rooms, however, had narrow windows and did not have a lock. Going into one of the rooms would be suicide. In addition to this, there were no windows in the hallway. Looking around, I realized that I would have to go to the first floor. It was my only chance of escaping without being detected or getting hurt. As I carefully made my way towards the stairs, I could hear my breathing become more rapid. My vision was starting to become blurry, and my stomach began to churn. With each step that I took, I was closer to being caught. Every little noise that I made seemed to be amplified by the relentless silence. I was sweating profusely, and my hands were shaking. I was terrified that they would find me. After minutes of slowly navigating my way through the creaky floorboards, I finally made it to the stairs. Taking a moment to rest, I sighed in relief. I was one step closer to escaping this nightmare. I peered down the long flight of stairs, looking for any signs of activity. I could see the front door from the top of the stairs. All I had to do was make it down the stairs and exit through the front door without being detected. After finding the front door, I became more hopeful. Making sure no one was near the stairs, I quickly and quietly made my way down the stairs. As I walked down the stairs, my heart began to race. After quietly making my way down the stairs, I sighed in relief. I had finally made it to the front door. I reached for the handle, ready to feel the cool nighttime air on my skin. Suddenly, I heard heavy footsteps coming towards me. Ripping my hand from the door, I sprinted to the living room. I didn't have a choice. With the strangers by the stairs, the front door was no longer an escape option. Once again, I had to find another way out. After entering the living room, I frantically looked around, hopelessly spinning in circles. Sweat was pouring down my neck. The footsteps continued to get closer to the living room. My heart began to beat out of my chest. If I didn't find an exit soon, I would be found. Eventually, I spotted a window hidden behind the TV stand. Unlike the window in the bathroom, this window was large enough for me to fit through. I darted towards it and pried it open. Just as I was about to climb out the window, I felt something zoom past my ear. Someone had found me. I turned around and opened my mouth in terror. A tall, broad man was standing in the center of the living room, holding a small pistol. He was dressed in black, and I could see that he was wearing a utility belt. Before he could come any closer, I dove out the window. After quickly making sure I was okay, I stood up. Grabbing my backpack full of goods, I began to run towards the next house, ready to rob again.